Well, good morning and thank you for joining us here on Shop South Mississippi. Today we're talking about the Paramount Code. I know that may not ring a bell to you. For some of you it may, for some of you it might not, but that is a book that we're talking about today, the Paramount Code, by author James Odell, and I have James with me today here. Good morning, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm well, thanks for being here. So tell us a little bit about the Paramount Code.
Well, I wrote the Paramount Code. I've been in the sales industry for about 30 years. And I made and squandered about $2.2 million by the time I was 29 years old, so I figured out how not to do it. And so the Paramount Code is how to take a customer-centric, consultative approach to sales and do it with integrity, good character, honesty, and professionalism. But it also has a bunch of universal laws of truth in it as well, so it caters broadly to business owners and individuals.
So you said you found out how not to do it. You're going to continue how to make it and how not to squander it.
Right.
There you go. Because we still want to make it.
Right, absolutely.
Right. So what was the, not everybody just wakes up and decides, I'm going to write a book. What was the motivation behind that?
The motivation behind this book and the 3 other books was to help people. I learned in the first part of my career on how to use sales techniques against human beings. And in the second part of my career, I learned how to pursue success and how not to pursue success, but to attract it through personal development and self-education. And so once I got that down, then I became a man of integrity, and then I operated from a standpoint that I have something to give to my clients instead of take away from them.
I think that's the key, because what ends up happening, I think a lot of individuals, the only thing first thing I think of is like the snake oil salesman, right?
Yes.
And that's kind of the place that I believe we all go to when we think of sales. And
Yep.
The phone calls that we all get on an hourly basis don't
Right.
help. They don't help.
No.
So what is it about the consultative approach that you think is so successful?
Well, the customer-centric consultative approach, what makes that so successful is you're focusing on what the customer wants and needs. You're not focusing on making a sale, but you're focusing on making a client. And when you make clients, you build a business in longevity because you make them for a lifetime. And then you don't have to work twice as hard as you do if you're trying to make sales, because if you're not focused on their needs and what they want, at a certain point, they're going to feel like a dollar sign and they're not going to do business with you.
So how do you start off the book? Like what's the first lesson?
The first lesson in the book is actually where I started off when I was 16 years old, and I was tearing off roofs with my brothers, and I was making $20 a day in 1994. And obviously I needed to make more money, and I just had a kid. And so the first lesson in the book is about integrity and how, the world trains and programs you into conforming and shaping to what you should do. And most people, they retire at 65 years old and they watch their clock and they watch their bank account, and they hope that the clock runs out before their bank account does. And the sad truth is that 5% of the people in the world have financial freedom. This book in the 9th chapter talks about paradigms, and a paradigm is how you interpret reality. But that doesn't mean that is reality based on objective truth. That's just the way that you've been conformed and shaped to interpret reality, and that's a limiting belief. So what this book does, the Paramount Code, is takes you to the next level in your thinking and gets you internally aligned so that your external circumstances reflect how you are internally as a human being.
Did you guys catch that? That was a word right there that you didn't know you needed this morning. So would you say that it's as much of a mind game as anything else?
It is a mind game.
Internally for yourself.
Yes, for yourself. And the key with this book is is I'm not telling you something that I learned from another book. I'm telling you something that I lived. It's got actionable steps in it that you can replicate over and over again, not just in business, but in your personal life as well.
Yeah, I think I was raised in performing arts. I'm a singer. I'm an actor. So
Yeah.
it didn't occur to me as I'm taking voice lessons that I take a little bit from this one, 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 and create my own.
Right.
And I feel like as you come up in life, you begin to notice that everybody has a little piece. Every experience, I guess, is a better way to put it, has a little piece of something that you can take with you and make overall your own approach. Is that
Right.
what you've done here? You've allowed the universe and life to kind of guide you down the path of where you have found the most success?
Yes, absolutely. And the key is everybody, when they focus on success, it's really easy to think about money and pursuing money at all cost. And to me, that is a fool's game, because what you should be pursuing at all cost is relationships with human beings. And when you do that in a business setting, then your clients feel that, and you make more clients, and in the long run you build your business in longevity, you build a better reputation as a human being and as a company.
I think it goes along with a line where they say people will maybe forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Absolutely. And that was exactly to the T of what I intended to do with this book, is to make people feel unique, special, and irreplaceable, and that every client that I've ever made, besides the first few years that I was in business, that every time I walked to their door, I had something to give, and they had a sign around their neck that said, "I'm the most important person on earth," because they were. And it wasn't just for money, it was because they put good faith in me to provide a need for them.
We have about 45 seconds left. What would you say to the person that's watching right now that's on the fence of whether or not they get the Paramount Code?
I would say that if you buy this book, the 9th chapter, The Mental Operating System of a Human Being, will change your life. I don't care who you are.
There you have it. You're buying the book for the 9th chapter. No, I'm kidding. You're buying the book for the whole thing. The 9th chapter is where it really changes the game. So listen, if you're working on sales, if you want to change your mindset, you want to get the whole picture going for you, check out the Paramount Code. You can find it on Amazon.com, or you can scan that QR code that you see there on your screen. It will take you straight to that link where you can get your hands on the Paramount Code by James O'Dell. James, thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.